What's up, you guys? Apple Genius here. Today we're going to be talking about backing up your digital data. So this is just going to be a brief overview of backing up and kind of the different ways you can go about doing it. Let's get started. So let's quickly go over backing up in general and digital files in general. Just like anything else, digital files can be broken, they can go corrupt, things can happen. Computers aren't perfect, unfortunately, and neither are these little hard drives. So it's not the best plan of action to just back up all of your data to one hard drive. It's better to have a second hard drive to clone or mirror this other hard drive with. So if this is mirroring your computer, this will mirror this hard drive. Thus, you'll have essentially, including your computer, 3 backups of your data. In the computer world, this is called redundancy. This is when you're doing things multiple times. So you have all your information on your computer. You have it on this hard drive and you have it on this hard drive. So if one of these sources goes out, then you have another one to pull from. And the more of these you have, the less likely your information is going to be lost forever altogether. Because if one of these fails or something happens to one of these, we have another one to basically back that one up, a backup for the backup. This may not seem very money efficient, but it definitely decreases the chances of your data disappearing altogether. So as far as redundancy goes, you got a couple different options. Number one, you can simply just have 2 hard drives to back up your data to, or you can have 3 or 4 or 5. Just make sure they're all cloned and make sure you're backing up the backups. Secondly, you can have your computer backed up to the cloud. There's a bunch of different options for that. I personally have not a lot of experience with that just because I'm lazy and I just prefer to have a local hard drive with all my data. But I'll leave some links in the description below so you guys can check those out. And if you guys have any questions or comments, just leave a comment down below and maybe I can do a video on that for you guys. Anyways, you can have all of your computer backed up to the cloud, or you can have it to the cloud and to a hard drive, which is what I recommend because you can have a local source with your data and you can have a cloud source. So say you don't have internet, you still have this local source to grab all your files from. And say maybe this breaks down, you still have the cloud to pull from. So it's just a double whammy, just you have more sources, more redundancy to pull your data from. So as for recommendations on my part, I personally recommend having a local drive with all of your documents backed up to it and having a cloud drive. If you're lazy and you don't want to pay for a subscription to the cloud, because that's usually what it'll do, it'll charge you a monthly fee and you'll pay that and they'll back up your computer automatically to the cloud and keep everything safe for you and your files won't be lost. But if you don't like to pay that subscription fee, then my next best thing would have at least 2 drives with your backup on it. So these 2 drives are essentially going to be the same. This data is going to mirror this data. When you back up your computer, you back it up to this drive and you back it up to this drive. Then you have 2 drives that if one of them fails, you have the other one. It's just your data is going to be much more safe. You're going to feel much more comfortable with your data and you're not going to be as scared about losing anything. One more thing I wanted to mention was we take a lot of pictures with our smartphone. Now, smartphones, you can just offload your footage onto your computer. But another way you can make some more redundancy with these special pictures you have is back up your photos from your phone onto a cloud. Now, Apple offers iCloud Photos, I believe is what they call it. And that's good and all, but what happens when your 50 or 200 gigabytes gets filled up? Because it happens. What are you gonna do now? So what I suggest instead is doing Google Photos, which works with Android and Apple. Google Photos will back up all your photos for free at a compressed state. So they take the photo and they compress it, lose a little bit of the data, which in my book, unless you're professional, you don't really need to worry about that lost data. It's hardly noticeable in my opinion. That is going to be a better option for you smartphone photographer people, because that's just going to keep all your photos in addition to your computer, your backup, and then your backup of your backup, it's also going to be in Google Photos. That's just something else to keep in mind. I'll leave a link down in the description below so you guys can check that out and see if you really want to do that. One last thing I want to mention is for all you people who don't want to rummage through all of your files on your computer, it's just a pain in the butt, and grab them all and copy them over to this hard drive. An easier option, if you're a Mac user, is to use a thing called Time Machine. And Time Machine is an application that will basically, when you plug in your hard drive, it'll back up your whole Mac to the hard drive no issues, it's just all there. You're good. Now, I don't have much experience with Windows, but I'm pretty sure there's some software alternatives to Time Machine for Windows, and I'll leave some links in the description below for you guys to check out. But anyways, back to you Mac users. Time Machine is an application, so if you go into your Launchpad, little rocket-shaped icon down in the bottom left-hand corner of your dock, you should find an application called Time Machine. If you launch that and hook up your hard drive, you should be able to figure your way through that software. If you have any issues, leave a comment below and I can make a video about that for you guys too. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say on backing up as a brief and very high-level overview. If you guys are interested in hearing more about this, leave a comment, send me a message, something, and I will make another video more in depth about each of these subcategory topics. That's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want. Yeah, that's it. You guys have a good one. Bye. Why are these so hard to make?